Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into Awesome Sunday Show. Before we get started, we'd like to tell you where you can find us.
You can find all of our episodes, including new content like blogs and guest blogs, on our newly launched website, awesomesundayshow.com.
Woohoo!
Our podcast is also available on iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, Stitcher, TuneIn, and YouTube. You can find all those links also on awesomesundayshow.com.
You can also follow us on our social media accounts, twitter.com/awesomesunshow, facebook.com/awesomesundayshow, and instagram.com/awesomesundayshow.
Thanks for tuning in and enjoy the show.
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows like the one you're about to enjoy, visit electronicmediacollective.com. And now, our feature presentation.
Hey everybody, welcome to Awesome Sunday Show. Connor here.
And Cassidy here.
Whoa, wait, hold on a second.
Wait, what's going on right now?
This is a little weird.
It is a little weird. But unfortunately, Pat is out with an illness. I think I heard he's getting gender reconstructive surgery, but that's still up for grabs. I don't know.
I don't know what's going on.
But whatever he's doing, we wish Pat a speedy recovery. However, the show has gracefully asked me to co-host.
Yeah, you are the co-host.
Which I'm completely honored for.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
So this would make you the only other person to have to be a temporary co-host if Phil's the only other one. So you and Phil are the only two.
I feel honored. I really do. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah. This is gonna be an exciting episode. This is gonna
Yes.
yeah, this is
This is a big episode.
This is the first episode it was just ever me and you.
It feels great. It's really fun. I mean, we've had countless episodes unrecorded. If you think about it, on this topic. But before the topic, I think we should get to a couple sponsors, right?
See, that's why you're the co-host. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it.
You want to go first?
I'd love to go first.
All right.
Today's show is sponsored by Vinyl Me Please. Join their Record of the Month Club at joinvmp.com/awesome. Now, let me tell you a little about Vinyl Me Please.
Please tell us.
I'd love to tell you, since today is Record Store Day, unfortunately, I don't celebrate anymore because everyone buys stuff and flips on eBay. That's why you should join Vinyl Me Please. You know why you should? Is because what's in that box? A special edition vinyl records that you can't get anywhere else. And when I say special edition, I ain't messing around with you. They work closely with the label and the artist to come up with something completely new you've never seen before. We're talking about colored vinyl, custom lyric books, exclusive artwork. I mean, it goes on and on. The reason why you don't get this is because you're a fool. Vinyl Me Please, you need it. More things about this membership. It's flexible and it's easy for memberships that work for you. They know that trusting someone with your record collection can be scary, like really scary. But we have tuned this to the way that you want it.
Was that pun intended?
Yes. It was a little bit. And that's why we have a thing called swaps. With swaps, you can exchange a featured record with one from the Vinyl Me Please archive for a limited set of store titles. This way, even though you're trying to get new things, you won't be forced to take the title you already have, or you know in advance that isn't right just for you. There's no contract, there's no strings, there's no guilt trips. You can cancel at any time. So where do you get this? Again, www.joinvmp.com/awesome. Vinyl Me Please, you need it. Go get it.
You do need it. It's awesome. I mean, also, it's interpersonal. You know, it's for you. All the exclusive stuff.
I mean, there's nothing better than getting a record I love, and it's completely changed, which is so cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, and we'll get on to our second sponsor. Today's episode is also brought to you by Gamefly.com. Remember, for a free premium 30-day trial, you go to www.gameflyoffer.com/awesome, www.gameflyoffer.com/awesome. Games are shipped directly to you, including a pre-addressed envelope for easy returns, no contracts, and you can cancel anytime. You can have multiple games and movies rented out at the same time based on your membership. Wait, hold on. I didn't just say games. What else did I say?
You said movies.
Movies you can also rent as well, just in case you want to unwind after your video game. There's a 1-disc plan for $15.95 a month and a 2-disc plan for $22.95 a month. Rentals are shipped to arrive on actual game release dates for new games. No more standing outside for midnight releases. No due dates whatsoever. And you can also rent to the mobile app as well, whether you're on the home or on the go. Instead of buying 2 or 3 games a year, you get an entire year's worth of GameFly service and rent as many games as you want for a cheaper. It'd be a cheaper rate than if you're just to buy new games all the time.
Extremely.
Yeah. And also, GameFly has over 8,000 games and movies, including new releases as well as the classics. And by classics, I mean they go way back as far as PS2, GameCube, and Xbox.
Xbox and GameCube.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
You know what's so funny is PS2, while it was the best selling system,
yes.
I think Xbox and GameCube were better.
I mean, the hours spent on Xbox is uncanny.
Yeah. GameCube, man. Best failure of all time. So, folks, remember, if you ever want to sign up for GameFly and get the free premium 30-day trial, which is the 1-disc plan, you can go over to www.gameflyoffer.com/awesome. One more time, www.gameflyoffer.com/awesome. Guys, those are the sponsors. And I wanted to thank GameFly and Vinyl Please for the sponsorship of the episodes.
Yes, thank you guys so much.
Yeah, before we get started, I think someone should come over and say hi on here.
Yes, I believe so too. I really do.
Yeah.
Heather, can you say hello to our fans?
Yeah, Heather.
Come on, come here. Heather refuses to be on the podcast, which is terrible. I thought about doing my own podcast and asked her if she'd be the guest, and she said no too. So, what are you gonna do? She listens, but she won't talk. She just said she's a huge fan. Well, prove it, Heather. Come here and say hello.
Come and say hello. Bill said hello.
Bill said hi. Yeah. Terrible. She's a failure. Your one time to shine. How red is her face right now, Bill?
Where's the big wooden spoon?
Bill, it's pretty red, isn't it? Yeah, her face is really red. Well, we love her very much here at Awesome Sunday Show, featuring Cassidy. That shouldn't be the name, but I'm just saying.
What is this, Sublime with Rome?
Anyway, the topic, huge topic. Huge topic.
It's going to be huge.
It's going to be massive. We're going to build a great topic. I shot this topic at Connor. He jumped at it extremely fast, which was great because it's been in the back of my head recently because of a new Netflix series that just dropped.
What is it?
Mystery Science 3000.
Yeah, I know. I haven't gotten
to it yet. However, when it happened, I was like, it just started filling all these memories in my head of what got me to the first place of these awesome, terrible movies. And that is science fiction.
Right.
Science fiction films. The classics. Not even the classics, or even up to now. I shot the idea to Connor that we should relive and talk our top science fiction films.
And you said something pretty funny before this too, was that we kind of already done this episode for years.
Yeah, no. I mean, when something comes out, we hash over it and we talk about it's either, like what it's kind of based off of or like how it relates to these other films that we just grew up and watched 80,000 times. Now, my list, when I was creating it, it was kind of harder to differentiate because a lot of science fiction does feed on fear sometimes. You know what I mean? Like the horror science fiction line can kind of be drawn.
There's movies that you can consider science fiction, but I would strongly argue that they're more horror.
I completely agree. So it was definitely a little harder to kind of like differentiate that line, but I think I did pretty well. Which is more science fiction, which is more horror, but we'll be the judge. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
You'll be the judge. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I mean, like we're definitely gonna have movies that are the same. Like,
well, no, of course,
because a lot of them I think we probably saw for the first time together.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, easily.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess before we get started though, Cass, you're actually like just for the Awesome Sunday Show listeners out there. Cass, you're one of my oldest friends. Actually,
we date back pretty far. Pretty far.
We dated back pretty far.
We dated back very far. It ended very messy, but he kept the cat, and I got to keep all the records. So, but before that, we go back way far. I mean, we're going what? preschool, me? Not,
Well, we knew second grade or first grade was like when we really started being like,
yeah, when we first really started hanging out.
because you're
a
the only
lot.
other kid that like I knew like was like, you watch Hellraiser? Yeah, all right.
Yeah, yeah. It would be like I'd come over and I'd see the stack of movies above his old TV, and I'd be like, oh my god,
The
there's
dinosaur.
that huge, massive that like had to be like 8 inches from the wall because the
Yeah.
back of it was massive. But I would be like, oh my god, you have Killer Clowns from Outer Space, you have Night of the Living Dead, like all these films that my dad fed us, along with becoming more friends that your dad fed us at the same time.
Yeah, it was kind of like the best. I would have more of like the classic black and whites and everything like
Yeah.
that. But then I would look at you, and then you would have like Reanimator. Like,
Yeah, I'd have all the wacky ones, and then you'd show me you would read up on it and be like, oh my god, have you ever seen what that's based off of or what that's written off of?
Yeah.
And then you'd show me all those old films. So it was such a great childhood. And I mean, even now we just bounce back and forth like crazy, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's why it's Awesome Sunday Show.
There you go, pun intended.
Yeah. So, all right. I mean, Cass, I don't know how this was your idea, so I don't know how do you want to start it off as far as reading off the movies or
I think we should just go one for one and then just kind of like just talk about it, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah,
Or
so these are science fiction movies that shaped us.
yeah,
essentially.
the ones that like really, the ones that stuck out of my head that made me love space and confusion and just things that are not normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, things that are
Well,
from beyond.
Connor's list is a little more busier than mine is. So how about you read off of, like let's do 2 for you for now.
All right.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, my number 2 I'll save for you.
Okay.
Just because I feel like that's something we can definitely get into.
I agree.
Yeah. So
So how about read the ones that like are more like kind of not obscure, but the ones that were maybe I might not be so keen on, or maybe other people may not be so keen
all
on.
right. Well, I guess like a science fiction movie that always stood out for me was from the 50s, and the movie's called Them.
Oh my God, them.
Yeah, which is about giant ants.
Yes.
And what's really cool about it too is like I love movies where you have a silly concept like giant ants taking over the world.
Well, it's something that's dying nowadays. You know what I mean? That concept of that huge mutant. I feel people think that it's been done too many times when in reality it's a dead art when you think about it.
It really is. And like what's great about it is that for having giant creatures that essentially isn't like coding in a computer, that takes a lot of work and
extreme amount of work.
And what really stands out about them is how seriously everybody takes it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that all the actors are on board. The special, like I always loved when the special effects match up with the storytelling skills.
Yes,
because then you really show that they really put enough effort into it. Is it a perfect movie? There's no such thing.
No, of course.
When you have like giant ants that go and
that noise is still sticking in my head.
Yeah, but then you have like really good acting from child actors who like you have to act traumatized because they just watch their family get eaten by a bunch of ants.
Yeah.
And it's really neat, and like what they really do is they kind of make it a little bit prophetic as far as like at the time there were so many movies that were representing it, like The Day the Earth Stood Still, like I'm drawing a blank here, like The Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where it's like, are you in control of what? How much control do you have over Discovery? Especially when it comes to nuclear technology.
Oh, well, at the time, I mean, the Red Scare and all that stuff was going on, so it's. It was in their heads.
And science fiction has always been a great representation of like the fears that represent today or what it was back then.
Yeah, definitely.
And it was really cool because it's like people would wake up and be like, duck and cover. Like, is there going to be a bomb going off?
Yeah.
Like, the Russians going to send it over. And like the ants were essentially like that fear manifested.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's going to be another movie I'm going to bring up where fear manifested, but it's going to be a little more topical.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite movies ever, but that's going to be later on. We'll talk about it.
I agree.
I think you know what it is.
Yeah, I know what it is because it's on my list too.
Yeah. I think Them is a classic movie, and it's, it's practical effects, and like it really shows like everything there is in front of the camera, which I love.
Definitely.
Not that I'm anti CG. Like I actually prefer it in a lot more instances, but like
a lot of times it can help than hinder.
Yeah.
Or reverse, but for the most, you're trying to tell a story, it helps, you know what I mean? But yeah, Them is a perfect representation of classic science fiction. I mean, when you think about it, science fiction in the 50s and 60s is like, that's the height of things. We're getting crazy and buggy. And,
Yeah,
you know.
Star Trek was coming. It was, or it already came, and it's great how they were able to take. I think what really changed it was just how seriously they started taking it. They were like, let's not just make it so where it's just like pew pew, like laser beams, like
like people on a planet and like kind of being like people, like you said, the acting was getting more serious in the movie. Like things were being like believable. Like you weren't watching it and being like, oh, that's stupid. I mean, nowadays it could be perceived as that, but back then, I mean,
certain movies,
that's terrifying. You know what I mean?
Certain movies today are really hard to like sell to somebody that's not in love with science fiction.
Of course.
Because it's just like the makeup and special effects are just awful.
Yeah.
But that's because they had a micro budget. They might have had more money. I probably have more money in my savings account now than they did to make that movie back then.
Yeah.
So
agree.
like, it's just, and it's not a lot of money.
No, not at all. I completely agree. So how about another one? Hit me with another one.
All right. Another one is, I'm going to go a little more modern.
Okay.
I think Looper is probably one of the most underrated sci-fi classics.
100% underrated. I mean, I remember when that movie was being shown trailers, and to be honest, I thought that was kind of like, just kind of like your average kind of like action, kind of like I saw Bruce Willis. I saw
The trailer was terrible.
So when I really wrote it off. I'll be completely honest. I wrote that movie off. I feel like it came to the theaters and went in the theaters, and then one day when I had like one of that, like a free Showtime kind of weekend or whatever, it was on, and I just watched it, and like instantly within the half hour, I was like, why the hell did I not see this movie?
Yeah, it's way smarter than
it is so smart.
Yeah,
that movie is fantastic.
It's smarter than it ever needed to be. It could have been a standard like science fiction thriller that doesn't take a lot of risks, but it's a little interesting. Not too bad, but they really they really put it forth. Ryan Johnson knew what he was doing from beginning to end, and he's doing he did The Last Jedi.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah,
which is awesome, and I have full faith that it's gonna be great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think especially too is there's a lot of modern movies, like science fiction movies, that get overlooked, unfortunately, because you get not to go on a rant here, but you get shitty movies like Skyline that are like that like bomb at the box office, and you're like, fuck that movie, or like Alien 13, and like But then you get movies like Children of Men, like where it's like who I don't know anybody else besides like us two and Dalia and maybe Pat that have seen it,
which is such a dystopian, like just mind fuck. That movie is so ridiculous.
It's science fiction in the opposite sense of what you just said. Dystopian. Not. There's a science fiction element because how the fuck did every woman on the planet not
give birth?
Give birth. Like it doesn't. That's where the science fiction end of it comes.
I mean, but not also is Children of Men just such a smart scripted movie. I mean, everything else in that movie is unreal. Like the camera work on some scenes are absolutely mind-blowing.
It has the greatest punchline at any serious movie too. When it comes to just like a joke, Michael Caine is the best joke in any movie.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Right?
I don't want to. Don't say it.
No, you gotta watch it.
You gotta watch it because it makes sense with the movie.
Oh, completely.
And it's just like at a comedy comes from misery from some perspective, and like that's really where the joke is like at its best.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that movie is. But Looper, completely underrated.
Yeah,
so underrated. Go watch it. It's a movie that I wrote off for so long, and then I saw it and I was like, I don't know why this wasn't either marketed better or had a. I mean, a trailer can make or break a movie.
Yeah, that movie was marketed awfully.
Oh,
like
completely.
There was no like. You look back, I guarantee if you watch the trailers now, you're like, what? Why? Like,
yeah, completely. All right, I'm gonna throw one at you. I think this is one that draws that line of where. Sci-fi can be horror, but it also can be kind of in a like a mock comedy almost, kind of like a black humor in a sense. And that's one of my favorite movies, They Live.
Yeah. Oh, great choice.
Honestly, that movie, when I first saw it, I remember my dad showed me it, and it blew me away.
Yeah.
It is such that movie is such a mind fuck. It really draws back to kind of like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Like, am I the crazy one here?
Yeah.
Like I can't be the only one who doesn't see, why does everyone else not see what's going on right now? You know what I mean?
I'm so happy you fucking picked that movie.
And that element of, how this underlying alien corporation is like running the planet basically, and you can only see everyone with these fucking sunglasses.
Yeah.
You don't even know where they come from.
And like there's a lot of political themes to it. There's a lot of counterculture
extremely.
themes to it.
Yeah.
There's like John Carpenter was like very like adamant about how anti-Reagan he was, which
Yeah,
is where
definitely.
which is like which was a lot of the basis the movie comes from.
Yeah.
But I think Roddy Piper is really like
The star.
and Keith David. Both
Yeah.
of them are awesome.
Well, I mean, that fight scene is historical. Is like the funniest fight scene, and it's so good and believable that he's just trying to put these sunglasses on him, and he's like, "I don't believe you, don't touch me," and they get in the most hilarious fist fight ever.
Well, what's great about it too is like John Carpenter is like is another level of filmmaker that a lot of people aspire to be. I'm not going to say he's the best one of all time, but
No, definitely
he's, but he's
not,
better
but-
than most directors, and
Easily.
he knows what he's doing when he's making something super corny and like super cheesy.
No, definitely.
Which is kind of like it's like having dessert before your meal. Like it's when I look at They Live, like you look at all the cheesiness, like the mullet and like the, like the flannel with like the little so his pecs show out, like he has to open up a little bit, like it's so dumb.
Even like the first scene when he comes in, he's got like a rolled up kind of like hobo backpack on like kicking rocks on the train, like looking for a job and stuff. Like it's stupid, but the underlyingness of that film is so smart and like nothing
Right.
you've ever seen. I mean, you put these glasses on, you see these crazy, incredible beings or monsters.
They're like aliens,
like
yeah.
aliens that are essentially controlling everything you do.
But it's like what I really like too is I think John is the character played by Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
And he's very much like Jack from Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh yeah,
Which
definitely.
Big Trouble in Little China is not a science fiction movie.
It isn't, no, but it's more like a fantasy kind of action movie.
But when it comes to They Live, like those characters are kind of similar in some ways. Like when it comes to just how corny they are.
It's just like just some random ass guy who's
Jack's a way more whinier, but John is like very like he just comes in with. If you ever played Duke Nukem, a lot of those lines are from that movie.
Yeah, they have to be easily. Yeah,
I came in to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum, and he just like shoots up the fucking
the whole
bank.
bank.
Yeah.
That's one of the best taglines of any film ever. It's just phenomenal. But yeah, They Live. I'll never forget when I saw that movie, and then when he busts into the camera crew and that like another dimension and everything, and these people with these crazy makeup like I've never seen before, it blew me away. That was such a cool movie. That really sparked a deep science fiction interest in me, like hard.
Yeah.
I love They Live so much. Hit me with one.
You want me to hit
Hit
you?
me.
All right. So I could go like 50s, but I think I'm gonna go a little
You
more.
can go newer.
I mean, I'm gonna say this just to kind of get out of the way.
Okay, do it.
Just because we talk about it on the show all the time, but that's Star Wars.
Honestly, I was going to put it the same way. Yeah.
It's like, dude, we talk about Star Wars on this podcast like at least once a month, maybe once every 2 months.
Once
like,
every 2 months, yeah.
How much can we talk about it more?
Star Wars is the
Yeah.
mega. Yeah, I mean it's the ultimate. What's not to love about it? Its elements shaped generations of science fiction. So
I mean, that is the perfect blend of
action,
sci-fi,
science fiction,
fantasy. It's sci-fi, fantasy. Yeah,
It's everything. Yeah,
like
Everything
you
will-
can take out the science fiction element, and there could still be a story.
Oh no, completely. Yeah, that it could be. Someone gets captured, they save them. It's kind of like it's
Well, it's very. There's a lot of samurai movie elements to it as well.
huge.
It's just it's just crazy. But I think. I don't know, this one that we definitely have. If you don't have this on your list, I'm going to be really upset. Well, not really upset, but I'll be like, what? Because this is a movie we grew up watching all the time. and
definitely.
That was The Matrix.
Oh my God, yes. That actually, fun fact, The Matrix was the first ever DVD I've ever owned.
Really?
Yeah, I'll never forget it. my dad had bought a DVD player for like $450, like something obscene, right?
What's so funny too is people would buy DVD players not knowing that PlayStation 2 was like the cheapest DVD player on at the time. Like,
I remember my mom was so pissed off, but after Society, we went to Walmart, and she was like, "Pick out a movie," and I picked out The Matrix because when it came out in theaters, my mom wouldn't let me go see it because, you know, that whole thing about, oh, it's too much violence, like all over the news and everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to watch that. And by this point, my mom was like, I don't know why I didn't let you see that. You watch all these movies with your father. So I bought it and I watched it like 100,000 times.
well, that's a movie too that was kind of made. I think it either made more money or made a significant amount more from DVD sales.
DVD sales, of course.
It was one of those movies where it was like when DVDs like first started rolling out, where it was like people were buying millions of copies of them, and The Matrix made so much. That's why they greenlight the sequels.
That's why they
because of the DVD sales. That's why, and the same thing. That's why they brought Family Guy back from the air because of the DVD sales.
Yeah, of course. I mean, The Matrix. What can you not say about The Matrix other than how it is a massive hill that rolls down as the movies go on, and the end of the series is definitely it's a disappointment.
A lot of fans like the second movie. I don't even like the second movie.
Hey man, Reloaded is a cool movie. I'm down with it. You know what I mean?
I don't like it,
dude. That traffic scene is like unreal.
That was awesome, but like
as a whole, you don't the whole end of it. You're not a fan of.
It just is like, dude, you have like literally like, you know, fucking computer Jesus.
Okay.
Like talking to like the architect. Like,
okay,
so
yeah.
you literally have like two like gods of that universe like talking to each other. It's like you can either choose to get laid more, get the nookie, or save everyone that you've ever loved ever, and he fucking chooses the other door. Like that really pissed me off. And I was just like, but he's like showing how human he is. Like, dude, no, you fucking suck, dude. You're the worst savior I've ever seen. Like,
yeah, he's being
all
selfish.
time.
I get it.
Yeah, and I don't know, dude. Like, and like the whole, and also in like this is more Revolutions when like.
Revolutions is a bummer, yeah.
Dude, all like the pipes are through Trinity, and she's like, "It's my time to go, Neo." It's like, shouldn't you be like coughing up blood and like shitting your pants? And dude, his eyes are just burnt, like singed, and he's like,
gone.
He's like, "Oh my god, Trinity, it's beautiful." Those two movies are just fucking terrible. Like,
I can definitely get your hate for Revolutions because I did not like
that like really silly laugh from Hugo Weaving.
Oh my! And then the ending, the baby face Matrix.
Do you think we need your help?
Yeah, that was like such a bummer.
Yeah, the first movie is like the way it ends is great too. Like I can't believe how you know Reloaded. Like I can get why people like it.
Yeah.
The whole I don't know. There's just like a lot of weird scenes that I think like the Wachowskis like thought would be like mind blowing at the time, but just came off as like really like creepy.
Honestly, when you think about it, a lot of that. I don't think kind of aged well too.
None of it aged well. Like
if I'm thinking back to it, I mean the first one aged phenomenally.
Yeah, I mean
because I think some of that was so groundbreaking, like filming wise, and well, even like if you just look at it from a script standpoint, I mean that's just unreal.
Yeah,
but I can really because that one fight scene with Neo and all the agents, and he's like.
And Reloaded?
Yeah, when he's like twirling around him, he looks all rubbery.
I thought that was so cool when I first saw it.
Oh no, that's what I'm talking about.
But now I watched it, I'm like,
yeah, it's kind of like you're looking at it and you're like,
you can tell they're stunt
weird.
Doubles. Like, he looks very like,
I get you.
You know, early Xbox 360 ish, like cutscene. I don't know, and I don't know. I can't believe like, and now they want to reboot it.
Yeah, which is the total bummer. I mean, I think. I'm down with rebooting, but let's
The Matrix rebooted.
The Matrix rebooting.
Well, also, I didn't know it at the time, but The Matrix is one of the Matrix did a lot more. Like whether you love or hate The Matrix, like because there are some people that are like that movie sucks, and like I kind of get where they're coming from, even though I love it.
Yeah.
The first movie, it did a lot for underground cinema. Because it was one of those movies, like it didn't blow up in theaters, but it did all right.
Yeah,
and
that was definitely a movie you showed to a friend.
Yeah, but that's a movie where you would find it next to like Ghost in the Shell or like or like Akira. So like and also that movie is very in its storytelling way very anime.
Oh yeah, extremely.
And
well, they had the whole series that ran after it too.
The Animatrix.
Yeah,
it was a movie with a compilation of short stories, which is like it was all right. Yeah, so, some episode or like some scenes were way better than others.
Yeah,
but yeah, The Matrix I think it's more important for what it did than like how it turned out.
Oh no, I completely agree. Yeah.
And like what it did for action movies, it was a big it paved the way for a lot of better movies to come out after. Unfortunately, not from the Wachowskis themselves.
No. Sadly, their career has
I
gone bad. Yeah.
with the exception of Cloud Atlas, which I thought was okay.
Yeah.
I don't. They never did a good movie after the first Matrix.
Not that I can recall.
They've never put out a movie. I'm like, that was actually all right.
That's a bummer, man. But some people are like that way. What are you gonna do? But the first one was unreal. So some of those scenes are just so iconic. I just never forget them. You know what I mean? Jumping out of a helicopter, even the whole concept of you're not living your real life, and you're being run by these machines in this crazy world, and it's destroyed, and you're underground. I mean, it was mind bending.
Yeah,
to think about that. You know what I mean?
It was definitely just like such a neat concept, and it wasn't super original. Actually,
no, when you think about it, yeah.
But it kind of did what Star Wars did. It kind of just took like all these elements from just different genres and stories and just kind of like blended it together, but in a way that was coherent. And
definitely.
And a lot of people, it was fresh and new for a lot of people because somebody was like, oh, I really love like sci-fi. But then they're like, I've never seen action movies like this before, Yeah,
it was just that nonstop blend of just shoot 'em up, but smart, which was great. Well, I'm going to hit you with one right now.
Yeah, hit me.
I'm going to hit you real hard. A movie that blew me away, and I had to watch it twice. I watched it the first night, I went to bed, I woke up, and I watched it again because my mind was so fucked up. 2001, A Space Odyssey.
Oh, yeah, that's on my list.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's a great... Dude, how can you not pick that movie?
I mean, Stanley Kubrick at his finest, arguably paved the way for certain special effects, if you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, just the whole, and even not even special effects wise, just down to the dirt video, like film editing.
Oh, easily.
Like that whole, like I don't know, just the way it's just spliced together. It's great, man.
The bone scene into the ship.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah,
the whole twirling when the guy's walking in the ship. And it's like as if, the gravity doesn't exist and he's like walking up and walking down. I mean, for people in that time era, I mean, I literally couldn't even imagine seeing that and thinking like, how the hell did they construct that? You know what I mean?
And another example of like sci-fi being somewhat prophetic in everyday society is in 2001 they hold tablets. They're like actually like FaceTiming each other. Mm-hmm. The movie was made in the 60s and they're holding like a giant it looks like tablets.
Yeah,
they look like iPads, and they're just like talking to each other and like they're like like the future and like we have that now.
That exist. And I think what I love about so much about 2001 is the movie. It has so many different changing elements to it. I mean, the first 20 minutes of the movie is just a crazy evolution kind of like, we went from here to here. Like, how crazy is that? And then halfway through, you have people like isolated on a ship. And then you dive into like almost like a horror aspect when you think about it, like a kind of anxiety.
With Hal,
an anxiety inducing, operating system that essentially you're not going to control. And then the movie finishes with kind of like a whole circle of life. I mean, the first time I watched it, there was so much to comprehend in my head. You know what I mean? And I had to watch it again right after the second day. I mean, it blew my mind away.
Yeah, it's not the ending is very what the fuck?
Like, it's extremely,
but in a very good way.
In a very good way. It's very, I mean, it's made that you can really interpret it kind of almost how you wanna in a sense.
Yeah.
Because I remember my dad had a completely different view of what I thought how the movie ended.
Yeah. But you should watch the movie and decide what you think.
Yeah, no, definitely decide how you interpret it. But it's so beautiful. I mean, it's such a insane movie, and I think this leads up to my next pick. I'm going to hit you with another one right back to back because it just works so well. Is Interstellar?
Yeah,
and I know you have a problem with that movie at the ending. I get it.
Yeah, the ending was a little
lackluster for you.
Yeah,
I get it, but
but it's still a great movie.
That movie is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's not. I wasn't blown away like you were.
Okay, yeah, I was blown away. I paid to see that movie 2 times in the theaters.
Yeah.
I saw it once.
I saw it twice in theaters too.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did the IMAX, the 70 millimeter. I mean, it was literally worth every single penny. Which, if you didn't get to see like Interstellar in the movie theater, I mean, that scene when they go into the black hole was worth every goddamn penny.
Yeah, no, that was a fantastic scene.
I mean, when you watch this movie, watch it on the largest TV you can with the sound at 100, because that one particular scene, even when they're on the planet, like the ocean planet.
Yeah.
I mean, mind blowing, man.
Yeah, it was cool too. Like it, it's one of those movies that, like, whenever there's like a new science fiction movie that comes out that's like that, you always have like Neil deGrasse Tyson being like,
he's gonna shit all over
yeah,
it.
he's gonna like, shit all over. It's like, dude, come on, like, can I just enjoy a fucking movie?
Yeah, I agree.
Like, can I not read your Twitter account?
Yeah.
But
I honestly think that movie's very smart.
It's very, very smart.
It's something. It was taking something as like a food famine or a dust, like the Dust Bowl, how it kind of starts in the beginning. Mm-hmm. Something we kind of already know, and we already know time travel, and we already understand, space exploration. But this movie, like you said, how The Matrix did it, kind of drew all these things in and made it its own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And plus, Matthew McConaughey is
like
unbelievably like leading that movie like so amazing.
Well, all the actors did a fantastic job.
Everyone did amazing.
I mean,
too,
Matthew
yeah.
McConaughey stood out because he was the main character, but Anne Hathaway was fantastic.
Anne
in
Hathaway
it.
was amazing.
Yeah. I can't remember the other actors. Jessica Chastain was good.
Yes.
Fucking Casey Affleck was awesome in it
Casey
too.
Affleck was great in it, yeah.
Yeah, and like
We don't want to spoil the.
Yeah.
There's someone else who's in it, but you got to watch the movie for yourself.
you got to watch it. So I mean, I guess we can get a little more of the we'll get one more modern movie out of the way that I really loved.
Yeah, let's do modern, and then we'll go old school.
Let's The Martian. I mean,
Oh my god,
yeah,
yes.
I know that's very, very new.
It's very new, but that movie's gonna stand
Yeah.
for a long time for the test of.
Like if we ever do an update on this episode, like 10 years later, like what do we think? Like
Yeah.
Martian's on my list.
oh my god, easily.
Yeah.
The Martian blended like a whole stream of comedy with science fiction, and kind of, when you think about it, like you said, how these movies kind of relate to their modern times. I mean, what are we trying to do right now? We're trying to go to Mars.
Yeah,
that's
literally that is
a hot pressing topic at the moment.
That is a thing. Like they made a movie about a thing that's really happening,
And
not something that could happen.
And in reality, when you think about it, this movie could happen like in real life. You know what
obviously
I mean?
no one's stranded on Mars, but
Well,
like
but I mean, when you think about it, it is kind of like, you're like, that kind of could happen. You know what I mean?
yeah, and I don't know, just like him trying to survive was cool.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah,
I really do love one-on-one movies. I mean, I love Castaway to this day. You
Yeah,
know, a guy just trying
Robert
to survive
Zemeckis,
on his
yeah.
own, right? I mean, perfect movie. But yeah, The Martian was so good. Oh, I saw it in theaters, and then I watched it again a couple months later.
All right, I'm gonna hit you with an '80s one.
Hit me.
All right, so you know how we usually say sci-fi and horror really go hand in hand.
Yeah, they blend. Yes, they do.
So I really want to do kind of like sci-fi and coming of age. And
Okay,
this
cool.
is a Steven Spielberg movie. I should probably put my computer on silent. There we go. E.T.
E.T.
the extraterrestrial.
How can you not?
Well, that's a movie I think every kid needs to watch.
Honestly, it's gonna shape your childhood. I mean, it's a story of being selfless, helping people. Not being afraid of the unknown. I mean, there's so many great elements.
It's it's a movie where you see. I love movies where like a kid has to kind of grow up fast in a certain way.
Yeah,
you
definitely.
know? And choosing between like what's right and what's going on,
Definitely.
and how to approach things as well. Because then you see him trying to hide the alien from his mother, and then
of course.
then so then it also teaches kids like reliance on others and trusting. So like, when he goes to his siblings, but then also Elliot doesn't get along with his family very well. His home life isn't perfect. But then, you get this alien who really kind of like brightens up their world, but at the same time, like kind of brings like, it brings danger.
No, definitely.
from the government, of course. You know?
Yeah, from
but they
the
don't carry shotguns; they carry walkie-talkies.
That's so weird when you think. I never actually looked at that till right now.
That's so annoying. It's like the original cut had them shot. And like, dude, fucking, if you're
wait, they have original cut with the is there like
the
a
original
cut out there?
No, the original cut, like the theatrical cut, is
Okay.
shotguns they're
Yeah,
holding.
okay.
And dude, okay, so like a bunch of cop cars are like blocking a road. What are they carrying on them? Guns, right?
Yeah, of course.
Dude, why would you carry walkie-talkies? They digitally edited it to have walkie-talkies to make it seem less threatening.
Really?
But who are they gonna like call each other from? Like, I'm like, hey Bill, hey Bill's right next to me. Like, it's so dumb. Like,
There's an extraterrestrial over there.
and it's like, dude, and they did it for one of the most iconic scenes ever when the bikes go up, you know, and they're like, and like the moon and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like.
I have to go back and revisit that.
I don't know. Like, I've seen both versions. It's
Yeah.
not like
But I mean, I get it. It's not a make or break, but it's something that it's kind of like it's like
very minor annoyance.
it's like the new Star Wars. All the new cuts with the they have all the stupid sci-fi in there. You're like you don't need
Yeah.
an extra
But-
little monster near Luke. Like, come on.
I will argue certain changes in the Star Wars movies make sense though for continuity purposes.
Yeah, of course.
So like changing like certain text like on screens to when it was English to like whatever language like they would write, you know,
Yeah.
or in Empire Strikes Back when they originally got like some weird monkey like fucking mask to cover the actor, but then they went back and put Ian McDiarmid there.
Yeah.
So like certain changes I totally can argue like that makes sense, but then like the whole fucking Jabba scene on Tatooine with
Oh my
that dance
God.
number is just
It's garbage.
garbage,
Yeah.
straight garbage.
Yeah, I definitely have to go back to revisit that. But E.T. is such an important film.
Yeah,
It really is, and it's so iconic.
it's a tearjerker.
Oh my God, it's so sad. But I truly believe that's going to be a high one that I show to my kids easily. 'Cause
That's
it's
like-
for all ages.
Yeah, that's like it's like your kids are 6. You're like, all right, you're ready.
Yeah. Like we're gonna watch E.T. This movie is phenomenal. But yeah, that was such a growing up movie. I mean, we watched that so many times. It's so great. Actually, I think it's on Netflix right now too.
Probably.
I'm gonna have to peep that soon because I want to watch that scene again. Actually, I did find,
But I heard it's you can't not see the original with the shotguns in their hands.
it's probably like you have to go online and like look up or something.
Like you can I don't know if they still because it's like I think it's like a special edition
Okay.
version. Like it's
Yeah.
not the Star Wars like you can't get the
you
originals.
can't get the originals. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure with ET you can like get the original.
yeah, probably because I think I found one in Heather's not too long ago, and I was like, oh my God, we have to watch this.
Yeah.
Because I think she hates all movies, but then again,
I'm still waiting for Heather to come over and say hello.
She won't. She's sleeping probably. I'm gonna hit you on one right now. We're gonna stay in the 80s.
Ooh.
We're staying in the 80s. Jeff Goldblum's finest, The Fly.
Yeah, great fucking movie.
Wow.
What should we call it?
So good.
Yeah, the director of that movie was the same director as David Cronenberg.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He did. Hold on a minute. I know there's something else he's done that
He's done a lot. He's done a lot of movies that I like. He did Videodrome,
Scanners.
Scanners, and Videodrome is amazing movie. That's another sci-fi. That's really another sci-fi movie.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
Yeah, it's that's a movie that like bombed when it first came out, but then like grew like a cult status.
Wow, he did Naked Lunch too.
Yeah.
Another unbelievably crazy freaking movie.
Yeah.
Don't watch that if you're sober or high. It will stay with you for a long time. Anyway, The Fly, Jeff Goldblum. Unreal.
One of the best remakes I ever saw.
Oh, easily.
And that was kind of like a little trend in the 80s where they were remaking. The 70s kind of did it too a little bit. They were
Yeah.
remaking 50s horror movies for like with modern effects.
Yeah.
But what's great is like, dude, those effects still stand up enormously well.
Easily, definitely.
The Jeff Gold, like the obviously spoilers. Jeff Goldblum's The Fly.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah,
And
obviously.
that whole scene where he's becoming the Fly and just how it's slowly transitioned is amazing.
His descent into madness is like just so good.
And what's great about what was great about the remakes is how different they were from the originals. And
They were, totally.
And there's another movie that obviously we'll talk about, and it's what I really liked about it in The Fly, and they kind of do in The Thing to a certain extent, is instead of right away you see the monster and it's terrorizing. It's
Yeah.
kind of like a slow buildup and a slow occurrence.
Definitely.
Because in the original Fly with Vincent Price, Vincent Price's brother, who's the one affected in the movie, who's affected by transforming into the Fly, it's right away. As soon as he transports,
He has the head,
he has
and
the
he's
head
like
right away.
terrorizing people. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, and he's trying to like keep his humanity and his sanity, but he's he's struggling because he's a fly, and like,
Yeah.
But then like they're trying to find the other fly that's half human, but like a little bit. So like it's kind of right away, and so. And it's brilliant. The movie is amazing. The original Fly.
It's very, very good. Vincent Price. I mean, he's a
Yeah, I'd say one of those movies I kind of struggle whether I like that one or the original or the remake more.
yeah. They both stand
Yeah.
on their own incredibly.
Jeff Goldblum, that version, the David Cronenberg version, is slowly he turns into the Fly. He's like little by little his hairs start growing on his back. His teeth are
Becoming stronger. He's feeling these different emotions and. Just that whole descent is just so fantastic.
But what's great too is like he's still Jeff Goldblum.
Well, Jeff Goldblum is Jeff Goldblum no matter what.
It's because like
he's perfect.
his performance is awesome. He's an awesome performance, but he still does the
His mannerisms are
Yeah.
they stand so tightly with him.
It's great.
Like you can believe almost any character he plays, but you're like, that's Jeff Goldblum though. You know what I mean? Like he's always just him. You know what I mean? To a certain extent. It's kind of like Sam. It's kind of like Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
Like, you can believe any character he plays, but you're still like
that's Sam.
that's Sam. Like
Yeah.
we know. Get off this plane. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, exactly. His delivery is always kind of the same, but he's just so good at doing it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Jeff Goldblum is great. I can't. What's the last thing he's really done?
I mean, he's in Thor Ragnarok. Yeah.
Yes. He's in the trailer, right?
Yeah, he's in the trailer.
A little bit.
He's done a lot of things.
Jeff's great, man.
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah, he was recently on. He did a podcast, Mark Maron, not too long ago, and it's phenomenal. Listen, it was really good.
Yeah, dude, what the fuck? Mark Maron is great.
So good. Connor, hit me with one.
All right, let's do a movie that a lot of people don't know. Again, this is in my opinion, is kind of a ripoff, but it's the best ripoff I ever saw in my entire life.
Yeah, what is it?
It has Ridley Scott's Alien.
Oh my God, yes.
So it is it's literally one of the best movies like ever made, hands down.
Yeah, it's pretty phenomenal.
It's great. It's got everything that it wants to do. It accomplishes perfectly.
Yeah.
The pacing, the fear, the thrills, the special effects, the acting.
The effects alone are, just that blend of just
atmosphere,
the realism and the
Yeah.
atmosphere. Oh, just
how seriously they take it, but it is kind of a ripoff.
Yeah.
Of it, The Terror from Beyond Space.
is,
It's
it
kind of
is.
the same movie.
It kind of is, yeah, in the same.
Except
form.
the Terror from Beyond Space had a budget of maybe like, I don't know, a few thousand.
and just doors getting knocked down every other scene.
Yeah, like cardboard, cardboard sets, like clearly.
But when you think about it, they rely very closely on each other because you think about it, there's always that fearness of that anxiety of the unknown behind something else. You don't know where something is, but you know that it's physically, in your surroundings.
Yeah, it's
and you
like-
don't understand it.
And what I love movies where people, and again, this is why it's much more of a horror movie, even though it's a sci-fi setting.
Yeah,
It's-
definitely.
And both movies do this. It and Alien. It's like every scene. It's like when that person's walking towards a certain destination. It's like, is that going to be the last scene that they're in?
Yeah.
and you don't know that. And both movies do that very, very well.
Yeah.
Alien's obviously the superior film, like by all regards.
Yeah,
whatsoever.
the second one is far more
no, Alien over it.
Oh, no, yeah, definitely.
But I think Aliens is still better than Alien.
Oh no, yeah, that's what I'm talking about too.
Okay,
Definitely,
yeah.
And then the third one is shit.
Oh, yeah.
3 times the alien.
Yeah.
3 times the space. That's literally on the poster.
Yeah.
It says 3. It's like 3 times the whatever.
3 times the alien with one alien, which had the second one had like 1,000 aliens. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. And what's cool, there's like no CG in Aliens.
Yeah, that's which is awesome. I mean, the practicality of it, which I've always been a very strong person on, special effects of things being practical.
Things being right in front of you.
I think the time and labor that someone is spent over a machine animatronic, something that's like Connor said, that's literally right in front of you, that the actor can physically touch and C, I mean, it's there's something about that that's just so great.
There's a difference when you see an alien in front of a camera and it's drooling, and it's like and like the actor has to pretend, and like the Star Wars prequels are notorious for this, for actors just looking like bland in front of certain objects because the objects aren't there. They're acting in front of nothing. And, with Alien, it's like, all right, Sigourney Weaver, you have to act terrified and you have to be shaking in the scene, and it's like, okay, that's a lot easier to do because wow, there's something that looks
something is literally coming from the ceiling in front of your face.
It looks pretty fucking real to me.
Yeah, it looks scary as shit. Yeah, both movies are absolutely phenomenal. That's kind of something else that kind of got my brain rattled. The new Alien coming out, which
Covenant.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm weird.
A lot of people are like,
I'm scared about it. I'm going to see it.
Because I was super pumped for Prometheus.
I was too.
And I was really disappointed.
I wasn't as disappointed as you were. But
Pat was way worse than I was. He hated that movie.
Really?
Yeah, he like...
I don't know, man. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was kind of like one of those movies that it's kind of like a TBS movie. If it was on, I'm going to watch it. You know what I mean?
It has good scenes.
Oh, it has great scenes.
But it's just not a coherent story.
No, they tried to make it too spotty and kind of like, oh, this is the prequel, but we're not going to tell you too much when they should have.
They should have just been like, it's a prequel.
Yeah. It was weird, but I don't know. Covenant, we'll see.
Yeah. Danny McBride's in it.
Danny McBride's in it, which is going to be great, which... He's hilarious, but I don't want hilarity. I want to see cool, alien movie.
But like, I hope he's not like from Tropic Thunder, Danny McBride.
No.
Like these aliens just shit themselves. Yeah.
I don't think he will, but yeah, I'm super stoked. Alien was on my list too, which, I mean, how can you not? It's Ridley Scott is best.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to talk about the other Ridley Scott movie?
Yeah, let's do it.
You want to say it?
No, you say it.
I want you to say it.
I don't want to say it.
Blade Runner.
Listen, Blade Runner is absolutely phenomenal. They're making a sequel, which I'm very afraid about.
I'm not afraid about it at all. I am open arms.
Yeah.
I am like literally Creed with arms wide open.
Really?
Yeah, like I am embracing that movie 100%. Wow. It's the guy that directed Arrival.
It's true. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I mean, I have
and
faith.
Prisoners.
I'm faithing in it, but I'm a little scared. You never know. You know what I mean?
Dude, Man Crush Monday. Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling's coming off a hot win right now. La La Land was phenomenal.
Yeah, and Man Crush Monday from if there was in the 1970s, Harrison Ford.
Well, Harrison Ford is the ultimate greatest uncle that I never had that I aspire to look up to. Because the man is just so great.
He like crashes planes and still walks away.
He's got to stop doing. Yeah, he's got to stop doing that. Don't fly planes, Harrison, please. But yeah, Blade Runner was a movie my dad showed me. I think I was a little too young to kind of comprehend the complexity to it. I thought it was like, a detective and there's these kind of robots and you know what I mean? It was kind of like, but I think later on it was a movie that Connor was like, I remember Connor telling me about how there's, the theatrical, there's a final cut, there's a director's cut.
Yeah.
And I never kind of really knew that or researched it. I only knew that I'd seen it back in the day.
The theatrical cut is something you should completely ignore.
No, I completely agree. And I remember when you showed me the director's cut with, the dialogue taken out and the actual.
Yeah. They cut a lot out for the director's cut.
They cut a lot out, but it's so good.
Yeah, so the difference between spoilers, the difference between the theatrical cut and the director's cut of Blade Runner, and there's a final cut too. I think I've seen it. I don't know, but is the theatrical cut there was added scenes and added narration because the studio thought that it might be too hard to follow. Which you must be a fucking idiot if you can't follow that movie because it's not a hard movie to follow.
It's really not.
No.
It's I think it just adds like a depth to what he's thinking, but it kind of makes it like I'm walking into the kitchen right now, and it's kind of
some of the narration like doesn't really make sense.
No, it really doesn't. He's just kind of talking.
It makes it confusing, and also too again spoilers. I don't know, Bill, you want to cover yours?
For what movie?
Blade Runner.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Heather, do you want to cover yours? Okay. All right. So spoilers for Blade Runner is the girl that he's with for most of the movie is an android, and you find out kind of in the beginning of the movie, and the androids don't only live for a very short period of time, which is why they're kind of revolting and they need to be stopped because they have these human feelings. they're starting to gather them, and they're starting to understand the concept of life.
Yeah.
So she kind of has a timetable too.
Yeah.
And the way the movie ends is they are in the apartment and they like shut the elevator door and it's done. You don't know what's kind of going to happen to her. Like Harrison Ford is going to take care of her because he ends up falling in love with her.
Yeah.
And but then in theatrical cut, it cuts to them driving in a car through a green meadow, sort of being like
it's Hollywood.
yeah, it's like, you know, like she was special. Like she wasn't like the other androids. It's literally what they say, and it's like, dude, it's fucking terrible. And you're like, it literally like takes everything the movie was building up for and just like destroys
it. Crumbles it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking, you know, he falls in love with this, you know, not human, and you know, like you said, her time clock is kind of, she has one and stuff, and they try to make it just too Hollywood and too nice. When in reality, that dystopian era was like, you know, it was unknown.
Yeah, it was like just tonally, it was so different too. Like it was like you just see all these dark shades of gray, black, and you know, like when light does peep through, it's coming through like a small corner of the window. So it's like, and so you're like, oh man, this is an eerie setting, and it's like grass everywhere. Yeah, it just was bad.
Yeah, it was really bad.
But yeah, Blade Runner is better than most of the movies we even brought up.
Yeah, I would easily say Blade Runner is one of the better movies that we brought up. If you're gonna take away anything from it, see Blade Runner. The sequel's coming out. Is it this year or next year? I think it's next year, right?
I think it's later this year.
Later this year. Well, I'm stoked, nervous, but stoked.
I'm stoked. Yeah. I'm not nervous one bit.
This is a movie I got to bring up. I know it defies, I don't know if you want to call it action. I know you love to call it horror in its basis, at its total form, but it's completely science fiction, is the one and only Terminator.
Yeah, well, yeah, the first Terminator is a horror movie. And this is like, it's the archetypal horror movie, but in a sci-fi setting.
Yeah.
So you brought it up. Talk about why you love it a little bit.
The reason why I grew up on Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Yeah. I mean, we all did. Let's be honest.
That's the first one I saw.
Yeah, that's the first one I saw. I didn't know why or what was going on. I just knew there was awesome action, and you know that kid,
a fucking truck just going through like a sewer, like an LA sewer. Like
I mean, John
bridge.
Connor, I fucking idolized, and Schwarzenegger was, I mean, king, right? But then a few years later, after I watched the movie 80,000 times, my dad was like, "You got to watch the first one." And I remember when I watched it, it was really terrifying because
it's so different.
Because the second one is not gimmicky, but like even though that one Terminator is like, he's frightening, like he's after John Connor and he has all these crazy liquid and you know, he's like gnarly. Like the first Terminator, like when he first comes on the scene, like that biker bar, and he's that is straight out of like Halloween textbook. Like, you know, Mike Myers is coming after you no matter what. You know what I mean?
That's where it comes to being a horror movie. Yeah. And the comparison I like to make is, you know, whenever you see like a slasher film, like, you know, there's always a reason why the slasher is killing whatever. It's like a babysitter, or, you know, it's a house full of sorority girls, or the camp counselors. Like there's always some sort of relation between the victims, like the body count of everyone that's getting killed.
Yeah.
So, and then like the killer is usually, for the most part, like a monster hiding under a mask or a monster hiding under like a human face.
Yeah.
So it's really like kind of cool. Like the relation between all the victims is that their name is Sarah Connor in the first one. And you only really focus on one Sarah Connor. There's like, you know, 2 or 3 in the beginning that she just blows her head off. And then he like kills the gun owner, the gun shop owner.
Yeah.
And, but what's really cool is like the monster's under the human face. You know?
Crazy.
You know, it's the
reverse.
Yeah.
The reverse
no human under the monster. Or like it's really cool. And you know, and then he's just going, and he's literally like a killer. He's just going after Sarah Connor, just trying to kill her, just like Michael Myers going after Laurie Strode the whole time.
Yeah, the whole time.
And the similarities are just uncanny. Like you can't.
Yeah, and even like the tone of that movie, a lot of the music is like really like just down and eerie and just kind of like this like industrial kind of like,
it's like it's very like neo-noirish.
Extremely, yeah.
You
And
know?
I think that just adds to the element of this, you know, crazy robot, you know, just trying to murder this woman. You know what I mean? It's. I remember when I first watched the first one, it was something just so different from, you know, the second one, which is those movies in reality are night and day.
I know, and like most people, I think, and I don't know, I think you and Paul like the second one more.
Yeah, no, I will say this. I love the second one more. I think just kind of as an add of nostalgia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like the first one more, just
Yeah.
like for the reason why I said I think it's I think it's kind of like smart in that way. Which is kind of the advantage over the second one. The second one has the advantage of just being way fucking cooler.
Oh yeah, no, of course.
Like,
the budget is unreal.
Yeah.
The shit that happens.
That
is-
movie can come out now and still be better than most of the movies that come out.
Yeah.
For special effects wise, for like summer
easily.
movies.
And it's sad where Terminator has ended up.
Yeah, I tried watching Genesis and I couldn't finish it.
I don't blame you. I gave up after. Well, the third one was the one with the chick, right?
The third one was the girl from Homeland, Claire Danes.
Yeah, I gave up.
It was the third one. I will argue that it's not as terrible as people say it is.
Okay.
But it's not very memorable.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just kind of there.
Yeah, it's such a bummer, man.
It does suck in some areas, but it's
Yeah.
like it's not the worst movie I've ever seen. Terminator Salvation, on the other hand, was a huge pile of dog shit. And Terminator Genesis, like I said before, I
You
couldn't
couldn't
finish
even
it.
make it.
Yeah,
You
I
couldn't
couldn't
get
even
through
finish it.
That's garbage. Well, I got two more. So how many do you got? You got two more?
Just bring him on. Just
Let him fly.
Just let him fly.
Fifth Element.
Great. Wow, I don't remember that one.
Fifth fucking Element.
With Bruce fucking Willis.
I mean, undoubtedly one of my favorite movies by him, and the earliest. I think that was probably one of the first movies I've saw with Bruce Willis.
Yeah, and you know who else is great in that movie too? Chris Tucker. Yeah, I love him in that movie.
He's so hilarious, and that's a movie that relies on just a great blend of comedy with a lot of seriousness.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to. At the end of it, they got to save the world. That's the plot of the movie, pretty much.
Gary Oldman's the villain, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's such a good villain in so many
he's
movies.
So good, and it's crazy. His hairstyle is now the most popular thing in the planet right now.
Oh yeah, that is true. Yeah,
He's got the swoop. Yeah,
That
the
is-
shaved head. Everyone's got that. They copied it from. But yeah, the Fifth Element is such.
I mean, I even do that sometimes with my
Yeah,
haircut. But it's so funny that you pointed that out.
But the Fifth Element is such a wacky ride. I mean, its effects are groundbreaking. Its story is crazy. It's just such a wild ride. Even right out of the beginning, those crazy huge armadillo robots that are like protecting this wall. You don't know what's going on. This priest and just right off the bat, it's just such a crazy movie, and it's got one of the most famous opera scenes that I've ever seen in a movie. And then they have that one movie coming out by I think the same director. What is that one coming out? Oh God, I've seen the previews a few times, and they're like, "Oh, this could be the next Fifth Element," and I'm like, I don't know about that one.
I don't know what the movie is.
Heather,
but
what was that one with the actress you hate? Remember we saw that preview, that actress you hate, and you were like, "Oh, I'm not going to see that." It was like all like futuristic. You know what I'm talking about? No, not Ghost in a Shell, Heather. God damn it. She's not good for anything.
I tell you what though, since you started dating her, she knows a lot more movies.
Oh, she does, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And her music's gotten, tremendously better, which is unreal.
Because that's what relationships all about: the man improving the woman.
It's all about, listen,
Heather, please don't kill me. I'm just kidding. I'm literally just kidding.
being in a relationship is about, hey, you look hot, but I don't like your personality, so let's work on that. So my
Come and defend yourself, Heather.
so I would say my last one on the list, which would what I would wrap it up. I know you might have like maybe one or two more that if you want to talk about,
Yeah.
because I know this one is going to be the one on both of our lists. It has to be
I know what you're gonna say. Say it.
the thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
It's the thing.
no, it's one of the best sci-fi movies ever made, and
Easily.
both versions are.
Yes, both versions, which you introduced me to, of course.
Yes,
the first
but
one.
I will say that I like the remake more.
Oh yeah, of course.
Dude, it's so good.
It's just so good.
And not that shitty 2011 remake.
That movie doesn't exist, Connor. I
No.
don't know what you're talking about. It was one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
That movie sucked.
It was so that animation of that creature, whatever you want to call it, at the end was so laughable. I don't know how a studio passed that and they were like, "This looks great. Let's
Yeah.
put this out."
I paid money to see that.
I did too.
And the fact that they called it The Thing.
Oh my god, fuck that movie.
Yeah, that movie sucks. But yeah, the 1982 John Carpenter version, Cass. I mean, you dive into that one. I'll dive into the original.
It just movie's so close to my heart. My dad first showed me that on a really snowy night one night
On VHS.
VHS, and I'll never forget when I came over here and you had a love for that movie too. And we like watched it instantly, and we watched it countless numbers of times since then. And that movie is just, as much as it is sci-fi, that movie starts off as a mystery movie in its sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it plays so heavily on fear and who can you trust and anxiety. And when you really think about it,
Well, who's the monster?
who's the monster exactly? And when you think about it, the real, true, like sci-fi kind of crazy horror element doesn't really pop up for a little while.
It's a very slow movie.
It's a slow movie, but the pacing and the time is so necessary. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you have to. It's a movie you can, like. I mean, I can watch it whenever because I've seen it a million times.
Oh, yeah,
but for
completely.
showing somebody for the first time, like, you gotta like look and be like, listen, like, stop looking at your phone. Like,
Yeah,
it's like one of those
definitely.
movies like you
Yeah.
gotta like pay attention. Like every scene counts.
Yeah. My mom and Heather ganged up on me one time and made me turn it off.
I remember you texted me right
And
after.
I was so pissed off, and she told me she would watch it again because she has to, or else I won't. I'm not going to give her a ring. Put that on record. And
it's on the internet
yeah,
now.
so that's what's going to happen before she gets one. But that movie is just, as far as practical effects, as far as never really knowing or trusting any one of those characters. And I mean, that ending is just, it's so great. It's so
it's
fantastic.
perfect. Yeah.
Please, I mean, if you're listening to the show and you've never watched The Thing, I mean, please go right now. Shut it off and watch it.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite all-time movies.
It's a movie. It's a brilliant movie. Always takes two aspects of fear and blends them into one situation. So the whodunit and the sphere of isolation too.
oh my God, that movie plays so heavily on that.
which is why the slow buildup is necessary.
Yeah, because when stuff starts going haywire and the fan is just, everything's just going upside down, that whole beginning of that slowness and that tension is just, it's unnerving. Yeah, it's just such a great movie. I loved it so much. So then fast forward a while, and Connor goes, "Hey, do you know this movie's based off of something else?" And I went, "No way." So we watched it.
Yeah, the Howard Hawks Thing from Another World.
Thing
so
from Another World.
the remake is actually closer to the novel.
Yes.
Who Goes There? I forget what it's called. I think it's called Who Goes There.
It's something like that,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's and it's, but the novel is it's a single creature that takes the shape of whoever it absorbs or whatever.
Yeah.
And what the first movie did, which is The Thing from Another World, was they took the single creature aspect, but it didn't absorb the people at it's the North Pole in the 50s version and Antarctica in the 80s version. And in the 50s version, it's just the monster's plant based, so it doesn't absorb them. It just kills all of the scientists.
Yeah.
And it's what happens. So, like, if you cut off the alien's arm, it grows back. Just like if you take a leaf off a plant, the leaf grows back.
Yeah.
But the monster is a crazy monster, so it obviously just kills them. But what's really cool about the original in the 50s version is that the dialogue, how they talk, is done so differently. So usually in movies, natural conversation, people talk over each other, people kind of correct each other. It just is how normal life is, and that's how the dialogue carries on in The Thing from Another World, the 1950s version. There's like really no pauses with the dialogue for a lot of scenes.
If you think about it, there really isn't. I mean, they're either in one room to another, kind of getting chased around, and it's really, people are talking about the situation at hand. You know what I mean? And it is stumbly. Yeah.
And and there's people that like turn around and the camera's to the back of their head and they're projecting their voice backwards.
Yeah.
And like, you don't see that in movies a lot. Like, it's
No.
something that you don't really think about. But like, oh yeah, that's kind of weird. You
Yeah.
know? And they do it in the movie to make it just, and I think it's because, at the time it's like, well, how are we going to get people to believe that, a plant monster is fucking killing everybody?
Yeah.
It's just like, so I think that's part of the reason. It's like, well, let's make the characters believable and likable.
Yeah.
And you have the archetypal characters, like you have the scientist that like wants to preserve the monster.
Yeah, there's like the stereotypical. But
Yeah.
I mean, the thing kind of They don't really do that, but they kind of do that in a way. You know, there's the doctor, there's the janitor who, you know, smokes weed all day, and you know,
I love that guy.
oh, he's so great. He's got the Hendrix on. He's
Very superstitious.
yeah.
You that shit off. I'm trying to sleep here. I was shot today. He, like just fucking like turns it up.
Both films are great.
How do you get weed in Antarctica?
I guess he just stockpiled it. You know what I mean? Or maybe he's got a plant growing somewhere in a basement. I don't know.
I guess they're like in Antarctica. The government's just like, do what you want.
Yeah, do what you want.
Very few people will do what you do.
You're a research team, so just you're up there forever. But it's so good. I think Heather made me turn off because they hurt a dog when it's not real. She doesn't like hurting animals. I don't know. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
But she has to watch it again because it's one of the best Kurt Russell films.
Yeah. Kurt
Aside
Russell.
from Escape from New York.
Is that science fiction? No, it's not science fiction.
It kind of is, but it really draws more of like a kind of fantasy action movie.
Yeah, I think it's more action.
But
I think it takes place in the future just for this setting to be believable.
It's like a dystopian future kind of like, but as far as science fiction element, I mean, the only thing you could really say science fiction would be like they plant that thing in his neck. But that's not even really science fiction. That could really happen.
Yeah, can't you do that today? I don't know.
Probably, you probably could. But yeah, you got anything else on your list?
I mean, Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
So great. All three movies, unreal.
Pat's favorite version of Planet of the Apes is the Tim Burton one.
He has told me he loves that so much.
All right, wait, before we get into the original Planet of the Apes and also the new versions, which are
Yes,
good.
the new versions are very good.
The Tim Burton version.
Oh
if you
my
want to see
God.
like Tim Roth, like at his like Tim Rothiness, is you have to fucking watch that movie.
I'll never forget when that came out. My dad we went to go see that together, and we both looked. What the fuck are we watching?
Dude, it was like the first big like Tim Burton bomb.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
You know, and Tim Burton's one of my favorite directors of all time. And that movie, and dude, he has some shitty movies, and that's probably like the biggest one.
I'd say it's one of his top shittiest movies.
Yeah.
That one is so bad.
It's really bad, and oh man, I don't know, just like. It's crazy. The whole Paul Giamatti, like the orangutan. That
I forgot he's in that. Oh my God.
I think what really stands out is like they get like these. They got like Michael Clark Duncan, Tim Roth, Paul Giamatti, and they get like these actors to play the apes, but like they don't really like escape that they're apes. So like Paul Giamatti, like that's Paul Giamatti as the ape, and like I don't know, the whole like weird like ape like foreplay scene was like fucking weird, where they're just like you know, and just like ground back at each other. Like I don't know, that movie really sucked.
Yeah,
and the wire work is so obvious when they jump. They're just like jumping, dude. Like first off, like okay, apes can jump high and they can swing from trees. That's really cool. But like swinging from like pillar to pillar with like no object to grab between in the middle is like really crazy and unbelievable. And that whole ending scene with the Abraham Lincoln monkey thing. First off, like the fact that like it's crazy that okay, so it's a different future, but the fact that their future happened exactly the same way our future did everything. The Declaration of Independence, like everything was just like what the fuck?
Yeah, which is unreal because. Why would they have to tie that into our own society of how their society would go?
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
It's stupid. And okay, so all right, so we talked enough about that shitty one. So, but it reminds you of how good the original was because in the original, I don't want to give it away, but if you watch all 6 of the movies, of the originals, it's crazy how you think time is changing, but it's really not. It's actually how it's supposed to go in its own way. And I don't think they really knew that up until like, when they were making like movie number 4. But what was really cool was that like it's a sci-fi movie because they're traveling in space, but it's a Planet of Apes. How is it a Planet of Apes? And then like, it has the most iconic twist of all time. Spoilers, if you haven't seen the movie, it's like over 40 years old. They're on Earth. They're on Earth the whole time.
Yeah,
and you have and Spaceballs made fun of it too, where you see the Statue of Liberty on the beach. Yeah, and he's like, "You maniacs, you blow it all up." It's just a classic movie.
It's I mean one of the more iconic scenes in one of the most classic movies. I mean, it's Charles Henson, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's classic.
My cold dead hands.
Yeah, Planet of Apes is so good. The classics are unreal. I remember I watched this documentary not too long ago where it like cuts through every single one of them and kind of goes through like the historical like figures of why they're all important. I forget what it was called, but it was just really good.
Certain with the original Planet of the Apes series, the best ones are the two best ones are the first one and the fourth one.
Yeah,
They're so fucking good. Like the fourth one is like surprisingly like way better than it needed to be. Then like all the other ones are kind of just like they're all right, they're forgettable.
Yeah.
But that first movie is just like
it's just so good. I mean the horses, that scene is just so iconic with the nets and they're capturing everyone.
And it wasn't so like in your face. It was just like you don't know that like it's obviously a metaphor for how we capture animals.
Yeah,
Like until you're like, oh wait, don't we?
You really think about it, it's a movie you thought about it afwards.
Yeah,
you really opened your head up a lot. And I mean, not to even say that the makeup. I mean, how much of a crazy stance or I'm trying to think of like the word right now. At the time, I mean, how groundbreaking would that be? You have to literally for every person on that set.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the makeup's great. Like obviously when they talk, you can tell like there's a little bit of makeup.
Well, yeah, of course.
But for like the 60s, it's like, dude, I can't believe they did that.
Yeah, for every single person.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's when you really think about it for how long ago that was. Which is great. And the new ones now, I mean, they're making waves and I'm excited about them.
Both those movies were awesome.
Very good.
Yeah.
I liked them a lot.
Rise of the Planet of the Apes and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes were Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I was like, I couldn't believe how good that was.
It was good. It was a good movie.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I saw it out of theaters, unfortunately. But the new one's coming out soon, right?
Yeah. War.
Yeah. It's going to be cool. I'm excited.
Woody Harrelson.
Oh, the king.
Yeah.
I love Woody.
The Kingpin.
The Kingpin. Oh, that's one of my favorite movies. Most underrated movie of the 90s. Kingpin.
Detract a little bit. My favorite Woody Harrelson scene of all time is in No Country for Old Men. He's like, "Do you know how fucking crazy you are?" I don't know what do you mean.
Yeah.
Just like he's like trying to like not die.
Yeah. What a great movie.
Great movie. So yeah, that Planet of the Apes classic. Let's throw another one out there. I mean, would you? All right, so science fiction and horror. Well, I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
Would you consider this more horror, or would you consider it science fiction? Frankenstein.
Wow. That's hard.
I think it's more horror, but you can argue that it's a science fiction movie too.
You definitely could. I mean, it draws from a lot of the elements, crazy scientist, just this whole belief of, the unknown and kind of like achieving something that man can't achieve. That kind of, when you think about it, Reanimator is almost in the same sense.
Oh yeah,
that's science fiction-y, but it blends way more towards horror because of the jump scares and the zombies and shit.
And the fact that it deals with death, I think it just naturally is
horror.
Naturally horror, but like there's definitely science
Frankenstein,
fiction.
yeah. I would. My meter would lead more towards horror just because of what I've been taught about the, Universal films and all that and stuff. But I mean, that's one that can teeter totter, definitely.
Yeah,
and it's a classic.
It's a good movie to bring up.
Yeah, it definitely is.
I mean, so Godzilla.
I mean,
the ultimate
science experiment gone wrong.
It's like and it's depending on what series. Like, all right, so Godzilla is like obviously one of my favorite movies ever made.
The Godzilla King over here.
I got a tattoo to my arm.
It's imprinted. Yes.
Yeah. So it's on me forever. Like it's not getting off.
Ain't
me.
getting off you.
Yeah. That's what my mom told me.
Yeah. Ain't
She's
coming
like,
off.
She's like, that is never coming off you. I know.
Yeah. But it looks badass.
Thank you.
I love it.
Yeah. I gotta finish up around the arm.
But anyway, Godzilla is many shapes and forms.
Well, he's also a character that's had so many different, like he's had different origins.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's depending on what series or even year you're talking about.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna go from,
it's the original is the most science fiction.
You want to go like Gorgia, like original?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
original Gorgia.
Yeah, so Gojira was 1954, Godzilla was 1956.
Okay.
And the differences between the American cut and the Japanese cut is really essentially is the American cut adds a character. His name's Steve Martin, played by Raymond Burr. And actually in Godzilla 1985, a scene that they added him in, they call him Mr. Martin because they didn't want to say Steve Martin because at the time he was like Steve Martin.
Yeah.
So, so Steve Martin in the original 50s one is kind of just like he's with like a Japanese character, and he's so useless in the movie, but like it's not bad, but like he just kind of explains what's happening.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, I'm watching the fucking same movie you are. Like,
Yeah.
Gojira, the original Japanese cut is the cut to watch.
Yeah.
You get a better sense of the characters that you should be invested in, which is the problem with the American version, is that like you have this American guy that you're supposed to relate to, but you have characters that are already
That are blending in.
you have characters that the movie's actually about.
Yeah.
So what makes it science fiction is obviously it's a giant lizard,
Massive lizard,
massive lizard destroying Tokyo, and but you find out he shoots nuclear blast out of his mouth. He's a product of nuclear radiation, where he was born from. And if the subtext of Godzilla is that it's a metaphor for the post-war trauma that Japan experienced after 1945, when Fat Man and Little Boy were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
It is crazy that the context that it bleeds into it, like how cool that is.
And it's really scary too, because there's a lot of scenes in that movie that you never seen in any other Godzilla scene. It's kind of like the aftermath scenes. And
Yeah.
like, most Godzilla movies, he like tramples through, and they're like, "Oh, Godzilla!" Like,
Yeah.
like, I'm tired, and like, but like you actually see like people in bandages, like people with burns, like going through, like like nurses being like, "Come here," it's like actual struggle, hardship, and there's also like kind of like a really like neat love story in the middle too, like like an arranged marriage, but it's like not detracting the fact that like there's a giant monster. It's not annoyingly in there. And it's perfect. It's a perfect movie.
Yeah, Godzilla is undoubtedly very, very good. I haven't seen all of them like Connor has, but Connor showed me the ones that I need to see.
Yeah, so out of all like 31 Godzilla movies, 30 or 31, I've seen them all. There's like 10 good ones. Arguably I've seen probably like at least 7 or at least of them. Not the one with Matthew Broderick, Bill. Fuck that movie. No.
But they're great. Honestly, anyone new to Godzilla, I highly stress watching it's the Cinemassacre, right? They do the countdown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Go online, look that up. He does a countdown of a lot of them.
He does 28 because he did it. The series was it's James Rolfe, who's the angry video game nerd for like people who like know who that character is, and he's a massive Godzilla fan. So a few years ago, he does Monster Madness every Halloween, and he just the last one was last year. He did ever. It was the 10th one, and so he's done. And I think the second or third one was Godzilla-thon, and like he goes through the 28 at the time that we're out.
Yeah,
and it's a really good series
because it doesn't give away like huge stuff, but it gives you like a nice plot line of like, hey, maybe I should check that one out. Or like that one, if it's a shitty one, he's not blunt about it. He's like, listen, this one is a waste of your time. Don't watch it.
But of course, I watched them.
Of course,
I watched them all. And
what's the one where like literally just has like a bunch of cutscenes from like the previous?
A lot of them do. So some of them do that. But there's
one was like a blatant like so much ripoff, wasn't it?
A lot of some Godzilla movies did that.
Yeah,
just like they would like movies at the time did it where like if there was like a spy movie, there would be like a spy character.
Yeah.
Like, and, it was kind of stupid. Like there's Godzilla movies like where like you see his tail like breaking, and it's like just not cut out.
Yeah.
There's like Godzilla Monster Island where you have like Godzilla's son.
Oh, the one he does the spin attack.
Yeah, but then like you have like Godzilla is like Mila. He's like, Godzilla says I should fight my own battles. And you like talk to humans. Like yeah, it's like so bad, and you're like, oh fuck, like did people like really think this was sick?
Yeah.
But then like of course like with like anything, it happens with almost every mega franchise. Is like it kind of like loses its way, but then comes back.
Yeah. Goes down and then comes back, goes down and comes back.
And like with the Godzilla Millennia series, which like a lot of fans like tend to be kind of split on that one.
Yeah.
I love it overall.
Okay.
You have Godzilla 2000. There's Godzilla in 1996. There's Godzilla versus Destroyer, which is literally like one of the top 3 or 5 Godzilla movies ever.
Is great.
Fucking awesome. Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, the 1991 version is excellent. There's Shin Godzilla, which came out last year, which was really good.
Yeah.
Godzilla Final Wars is good. There's Godzilla, the original Godzilla versus Mega Godzilla, the original Godzilla versus Mothra, Godzilla versus King Kong.
Mothra is like the
Godzilla Revenge where he fights Anguirus. They're all fucking great.
We're coming up on Godzilla vs Kong soon, man.
Yeah.
A few more years.
And like Godzilla is one of the best science fiction movies ever.
Yeah. I mean, the resurgence that just came back with Bryan Cranston was great.
Yeah, I liked that movie.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah,
very much.
there wasn't enough Godzilla for me, but
Yeah, there wasn't enough Godzilla and Bryan Cranston, but
Yeah.
I forgive it.
it's still a solid movie, though.
It's still a really solid.
I liked it. Like I thought, I would say it's a great movie. It just with some flaws.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Fuck. What else? Like I feel like there's gonna be movies that like.
No, there's definitely ones we forgot, but
Yeah.
it's
Well, also this isn't a list of going through like the history of sci-fi.
No, this is-
otherwise we'd be here for like 8 hours.
this was just a list that kind of made us remember
Our favorites.
why we love the genre. You know what I mean? Why, what stuck with us as a kid, and what we'll be showing our kids. You know what I mean? These movies that kind of almost form your base around a grip of science fiction movies. And I hope it doesn't go away. I mean, things are getting smarter now, which is awesome. These movies are coming out.
They're only getting better.
They're only getting better.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, like, will there be a time where science fiction movies suck? Yes.
Well, of course. Like it's kind of like
But
horror.
right now it's good. You got Arrival, Interstellar, Inception.
Yeah.
Inception, science fiction.
It's very science fiction.
Yeah. You got I guarantee just Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy is straight up science fiction.
Yeah. And it looks like Thor Ragnarok's probably going to be science fiction too.
I mean, that trailer was unreal. How much they hopped around everywhere. You can listen to that review on Awesome Sunday Show.
Yeah.
That was 2 episodes ago. That was a good one.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was when this episode comes up, it'll be 2 episodes because
Yeah.
it was this is the second episode of Pat's not here.
That was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all great, man. Science fiction is so much fun.
Fuck. All right, there's a movie we have to talk about.
All right,
before
hit it.
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future. God damn it.
I'm so glad I just thought of that.
Thank God you remembered Back to the Future. Undoubtedly one of a staple of the 80s.
That movie's the 80s.
This is the 80s.
Yeah, I was born in 91. We were both born in 91, so it's like for us
like what is a representation of what it was like then? There you go.
that's the back to so if I ever have kids and they're like, oh, like what was the 80s? Like, well, I wasn't born, but I was like, I guess this is kind of what it was like.
I can give you
I'll show you Back to the Future.
And undoubtedly a movie that a sequel hits you and it is as good, maybe even arguably a little bit better than the first one.
I like all 3 of them.
I love all three
All
of them.
3 of them.
Listen,
And people like hate the third one.
the third one's not bad at all.
The third one's not bad by any means.
The third one is like a
the whole Western scene where he has the Nikes on is like classic.
so good.
Yeah.
I think the third one is kind of like it's kind of like a shitty. It's like a $9.99 bottle of wine. Like, yeah, you got it at a low discount. Maybe it's not that good, but you still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
I'm
still
gonna drink. I'm gonna drink it again. It's gonna
Yeah.
do the same effect, right?
Right. And like, yeah, it's good. Like, it's a good movie. It's fine.
a great movie.
Yeah. The second one is like
Undoubtedly, like unreal. It's still,
Yeah.
it's phenomenal.
like the only problem with the second one is it kind of does try to recapture some of what the first movie did,
Yeah.
but it did fine.
No, it did completely fine, yeah.
Yeah. Both 1 and 2 are just great.
Yeah, Back to the Future is so good.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, the classic lines that came out of it, and just I must have watched that movie 80,000 times as a kid. I still watch it now if it's on. Yeah, Heather, I don't think you've seen Back to the Future, have you? Yeah, she hates me.
So let's finish this podcast off because we're at like almost an hour and a half here.
Yeah,
With like what's considered to be, again, this isn't a list of the greatest sci-fi movies ever. This is kind of our personal favorites, but one that always stuck out for me and like really got me interested in film, and I saw it in Mr. Galgon's class, was The Day the Earth Stood Still,
Yes.
the original one, and that is just. Wait, did we talk about it or no?
No, we didn't talk about
didn't?
that.
Okay.
No, not at all.
So yeah, that movie is great because it has kind of like a silly concept.
It does.
But it's a very, very serious movie.
It's extremely serious.
There is a part in it that I have to kind of give away because if you're gonna watch this movie, you have to kind of understand that it's a different time and people like didn't have that mindset. So Klaatu, who is like the main character, the alien that comes to like bring peace.
Okay.
But then is met with animosity.
Yeah.
He's like in a boarding house and there's like, a kid wants to go to there's like a mom and a kid.
Yeah.
Like with a boarding house full of people. and like this guy just showed up, like had one dinner there at the house, and he's like, Mom, I want to go to the park and do this or go to the zoo. He says something, and she's like, oh yeah, I can't do that today. Like she's like, oh, and Klaatu's like, I'll take him. She's like, okay, I don't see why not. Fucking complete stranger. And like when I saw that movie, I was like, what? Like like. Now I don't think at the time like people like parents were that gullible to let total strangers take their kids to a zoo.
Yeah.
But like from the movie's perspective, it's just kind of like they had to have a scene where like Klaatu and the kids share information.
Yeah.
So like, and I don't think they were thinking at the time like there's actual people who like want to steal kids and like there's really sick people out there. Mm-hmm. So like I guess at the time like people didn't really look at it that way, but like it's in 2017. If you're gonna watch it, it's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, it's gonna blow your mind. It's gonna be like that's too cheesy to me at the time.
Right, but you gotta like understand. But
you gotta put that aside.
You gotta put that aside. The rest of the movie is absolutely great. The metaphors are awesome. Gore is cool as shit.
Yes.
The spaceship is iconic and classic. At the same time, it's what really stands out is the acting.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
For the time, it's like how we talked about how them was. They had these serious actors on a kind of more science fiction based
story.
Yeah,
it's Invasion. You brought it up before too. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the same thing.
Oh, definitely. And then which leads into the whole Twilight Zone, how they were really bringing the A game.
Yeah,
on some actors, and even a lot of those episodes.
Shatner.
Oh my god, a lot of those episodes still stand the test of time.
Yeah, the most famous episode is the one with William Shatner with the goblin on the plane or the gremlin on the plane.
On the wing. Yeah,
yeah, that one's great.
It's so good.
I still think the best Twilight Zone episode is Talking Tina.
What's that one again?
Where it's kind of like what Chucky was in the 80s.
Oh my god, yeah, the doll outside.
It was the Tina the doll. She's like, I'm talking like it was like a daughter's doll, and the father like hates the doll for some reason.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he's like, stupid doll, and she's like, I'm Talking Tina. She's like, I don't like you. I'm going to kill you.
It's creepy.
And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like that was
for the time that had to be like just so creepy.
And I can't remember the one Twilight Zone episode. I forget what it's called, but it's the one where there's the rich grandfather and like all like the grandchildren and the children are just trying to like waiting for him to die.
Yes.
And he's like, I will give you my inheritance, but you have to wear these masks for 12 hours. And they end up becoming like the ugly mask, but they get the money, and it just shows their true character.
Yeah.
What a staple in sci-fi.
Easily. Even the movies were pretty cool too. The Twilight movies that came out.
Oh yeah, there was
the one that came out.
The one came out. It was Steven Spielberg.
Yeah,
was in it.
A bunch of the directors.
William Friedkin I think might have done or something. I don't know. John Landis, but. Yeah, sci-fi is just great.
It is so good. Don't sleep on it.
Yeah, don't let us name every movie. Go and discover yourself.
Yeah, do your own research.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a wide range. Like we said, it could be kind of more humorous, or it could be kind of more horror drama, or it could just be a straight up blend of just science and just weirdness. There's so much gravity towards you can lean to.
And don't let a movie that's just because it's black and white. Or it looks old, like just deter you because
don't it.
It's so good. You're missing out.
Its themes are still good. Its acting is still good, and everything about it is why you love the movies you love today.
Yeah.
So don't write them off. Watch a black and white movie.
Yeah, The Martian is just as good as Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yes.
Or Forbidden Planet.
Listen, Awesomers, this is your homework. Go watch a black and white movie.
Yeah.
Please.
Bill,
Heather. Black and white movies matter.
Yeah.
Yes, that's our new shirt.
Black and white movies matter. That's a great shirt.
That is a great shirt. Yeah. You might get stabbed. Don't wear it in certain areas though. Well, thank you, Connor, so much for this.
No, thank you for coming on.
Get better, please.
Yeah.
But I mean, I understand if you guys want to do Awesome Sunday Show featuring Cassidy, if that's the new name. I'm not marketing it or anything. But
are we Sublime roaming this? Are we going to do it?
I don't know. We'll see.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. This was some of our favorite sci-fi movies and how they shaped us for today and why we love this genre and why it needs to continue to grow and get stronger. And let's hope it never dies. So, Cass, again, thank you so much for coming.
Yes, thank you for having me, guys. You're awesome.
And also, thank you for the sponsors again, Vinyl Me Please and Gamefly. Remember, for Gamefly, you get a free premium 30-day trial if you sign up for either the 1-disc or 2-disc plan. It's the one disc plan is $15.95 a month. The 2 disc plan is $22.95 a month. And to get you the special offer for the free 30-day trial, go to www.gameflyoffer.com/awesome. Remember, folks, go to www.gameflyoffer.com/awesome. And Cass, do you want to do the Vinyl Me Please one? Or
Yeah, no, please go to Vinyl Me Please. Order your phenomenal, awesome limited edition vinyls with different letters and lyrics and artwork. It's phenomenal. You should go to, where is that, baby? It's www.joinvmp.com/awesome.
Cool. Yeah, folks, and also remember to check out awesomesundayshow.com for the latest blogs. And every episode of Awesome Sunday Show is on the website. You can read a blog from Bill, who's sitting right to my right. Anthony D'Elia is doing a weekly blog on television shows that he's watched.
It's phenomenal.
I post reviews sometimes. I again, it'll be coming out pretty soon. I'm going to do a weekly blog as well about kaiju movies, so look forward to that. And Pat just put up a blog not too long ago as well.
Peep it.
Go read. Reading is just as good as listening.
Yes.
Reading is training for your brain.
Reading is, that's nice. The more you know.
The more you know. You know. All right, folks. Thanks for listening again, and have a good week and have a happy Sunday. Peace.
Goodbye.